What's going on, guys? It's your boy Luke here for another golf live stream. It's time for our Saturday Showdown picks at the Hero World Challenge. And through 2 rounds so far, this has been one of my favorite events to watch all year. Like I said at the beginning of the week, one of the criminally underrated events on the PGA Tour. When you get all of this top-end talent together, particularly just 20 golfers, you really get to see all kinds of good shots, get to see some of the best golfers in the world play their best golf, like a Brayson Dechambeau, like a Colin Morikawa has done to this point. And you get to see some of the struggles as well. Some of the people that don't have their games together, like a Harris English, Henrik Stenson, that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool to see. I like this type of format of event. A lot of people on Twitter have shared that kind of sentiment as well. And I hope they try to incorporate more of these events into the future. I know the Super League, that Saudi league over there, is going to be running some of these type of events. So perhaps that's how we're going to get that type of our daily fill, as we can say. So what we're going to do here is obviously talk about Saturday Showdown. So we're going to start off with some weather, which I'm bringing up right now. So this is for Nassau and New Providence, which is just down the road from Albany Resort. And as you guys can see tomorrow, a little bit more wind than what we've seen over the past few days. We were looking at 5 to 6 mile an hour winds on Thursday, about 6 to 7 miles an hour today. Tomorrow, it's going to be between 7 and 11 miles an hour for most of play. So a little bit more gusts than we're used to seeing. In the middle of the day, we have a sustained wind of 11 miles an hour. Usually that means we have 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts. When we start getting into that kind of range of winds, a little bit more impact on play. So these first 2 days, we've seen a scoring average right around 68.5. Might creep up closer to 69, maybe 69.5, something like that. Overall, though, just means that our showdown scoring might be a little bit lower scoring tomorrow. I mean, we saw a median score today of right around 38.5 fantasy points. Tomorrow, probably something closer to 33 or 34 fantasy points. So not anything drastic. We're not talking about a Bermuda championship type split or anything like that where people are going to be shooting over par, but definitely slightly harder conditions for tomorrow. In general, though, with our key stats for our modeling, I'm not really changing much. This is a ball strikers golf course, specifically people that can do it with their iron play. You know, it's no surprise to see Colin Morikawa at the top of the board. It's also no surprise to see Brayson Dechambeau, who's gaining strokes on approach at the top of the board. I mean, we never questioned his putting or his driving. He's world-class week in and week out with that. But he's really found it with the irons, which I did not expect to see. I mean, at that match with Brayson Dechambeau, with Brooks Koepka that he had, did not look very sharp. He actually posted a video on his YouTube channel this week, Brayson did, of him at a driving range, and apparently he figured out his swing. He was able to start to hit consistent draws off of the tee, draws with his irons as well. I unfortunately didn't see that video until just about a day ago, or else I probably would have been all over him. I mean, his main issue over this past month has been the iron play. So for him to turn that around, for me, it's no surprise to see him towards the top of the board. Some of the other people at the top, other really good ball strikers, I mean, Daniel Berger, Brooks Koepka, just a short list of the best ball strikers in the world. I mean, Victor Hovland's playing well. Patrick Reed's been striping it as well. So for me, shots gained approach, definitely the priority on my analysis. That has not changed since day one. We're taking a little bit more of a look at putting. This has definitely been, the greens are running a lot faster than they have in the past. They're running at about a 12.5 right now. They were running at a 12 on Thursday. So on Saturday, might even be running at a 13 or 13.5. They're only going to get quicker as the weekend goes on. So for me, shots gained putting might become a little bit more important as we go on. With that being said, let's hop into the player pool. I have this sorted by their salaries at the beginning of the week. Obviously, over here, you can see what their price is going to be for tomorrow. That way, you guys can see who's been priced up since the beginning of the week and who's gone a significant price decrease. Over here, obviously, is their scored apart at this point of the week. So let's start at the top of things. Because there's only 20 players, we might as well touch on everyone in the field. Rory Mcilroy has not looked very good to this point. He's hit a bunch of shots in the water. He's actually a member at this golf course, used to live here. Not something that I knew about going into the week, actually. Didn't see that on my timeline anywhere, but announcers have been talking about it over and over again. You would think that he'd be a lot better here, obviously, with that type of familiarity. But he actually spoke in his presser that it was kind of getting in his head. You know, once you put a scorecard in your hand, once you're doing it for money and for fame, things really change up. So I didn't like his approach play going into the week. He had lost strokes on approach in 4 straight tournaments, at least where we had the shots gained metrics. We didn't have him at the CJ Cup where he went out there and won. So pretty obviously probably gained strokes on approach there. But either way, we don't have that data. And as a result, I don't like him tomorrow either. I mean, we've seen him struggle to this point of the week. He struggled before it with his approach play. He's talking about how he's kind of getting in his own head. For me, just better people that we can prioritize, people with similar skill sets that are playing better right now. So I just don't think he's somebody that you need to really take a stand on tomorrow. I do expect him to still garner a relatively high amount of ownership as well. Collin Morikawa is a guy that I'm going to the most tomorrow. He's going to be my highest exposed player, upwards of 60, maybe even 70% exposure. At $9,300, he was priced down after a mediocre day one, but came out today firing, was hitting his irons beautifully, missed a few 5-foot putts actually. So could have had an even better round, to be honest with you. So I really like him there at $9,300. He's definitely going to be popular. You can see I have him projected for one of the highest ownership numbers on the entire slate. I think it's well warranted, though. The guy's playing some of the best golf in the world. And like we said at the beginning of the week, this recent form rank is heavily skewed. Most of his golf tournaments and his win at the DP World Tour Championship haven't had shots gained metrics. So we're not able to bake that into that. He truly is the hottest player in the world and somebody that I will continue to back. Somebody that had a really bad day today that I am going back into is Justin Thomas. Not only is he the most expensive player on the slate, he had a horrible day today. He was starting it with the lead right up there at the top of the leaderboard, shot over par. So it's going to scare a lot of people off of him. The fact that he's the most expensive player in the field is going to scare a lot of people off of him. So the fact that I have him at 26% ownership, I think he might come in a lot lower than that. My Sims were obviously giving a lot of credit to the fact that he's one of the highest pedigree players in the world. People love playing Justin Thomas. He's typically one of the higher owned players, regardless of the field strength. So for me, I'm going back to him. He has the kind of volatility you're looking for in Showdown. This guy's one of the best ball strikers in the world. In terms of our key stats, he checks all of the boxes that we're looking for, whether it's the ball striking, whether it's the putting on Bermuda. That is his best surface. And he's been a lot better putting of late as well. In terms of a well-rounded game, I mean, obviously, some of the greens here are hard to hit your chip shots. They're all elevated surfaces. And when they're running at a 12.5 or a 13 on the stint meter, you're going to have a hard time hitting some of those chip shots. Justin Thomas, though, one of the best, if not the best, around the green player in the entire world, is not going to have trouble with that. So I think he's a little bit of a dark horse pick there. Could come in less than 20% ownership. Again, I think my algorithm is giving a little bit too much credit to his skill set. I mean, he is one of the top 5 players in the world, top 3 when he has his game. Let's move on. These next two guys, I don't really feel like prioritizing them. We already talked about how Brayson Dechambeau seems to have fixed his iron play. Those feels come and go, though. So that feeling he has, he talked about it during his video. I went and watched it again today. I was talking about how I don't want to get into specifics of golf. I'm a golf nerd myself. I understand the biomechanics. But he was talking about guiding his hands in a way to which he could get the ball to go from outside to in. So that way it draws every single time. And all that he's focusing on, you can see it during his practice swings, during the live TV coverage, is that motion. He's constantly fiddling with his hands, trying to feel where they're at. It's working right now. It might not work going forward. That's the unfortunate part. Feels come and go in golf. He had this like quote unquote eureka moment. That's what he was talking about during his YouTube video. I'm a huge Bryson nerd. I'm one of the biggest fans of the guy in the entire world, but that concerns me. I mean, the guy is playing right now off of a feel that he found shooting a YouTube video. I am not sure if that's sustainable. I hope he goes out there and proves me wrong. But it's not somebody I'm going to be playing in Showdown. He's extremely volatile to begin with. So it could very well go up and blow up tomorrow. Xander Schofield at -4. He's had a really bad start to this golf tournament. He was the consensus pick to win this week because sportsbooks, for whatever reason, were dangling him out there at like 12 or even 14 to 1 if you guys shopped around a little bit. And that's a disrespectful number for Xander Schofield. I mean, the guy is a top 5 player in the world, one of the most consistent players in the world as well. So it looks like the sportsbooks are going to get away with that, right? He's at -4. He's probably not in contention as of right now. We'd really have to put up 2 special rounds to get there. But in Showdown, I like going to him. You know, he's so far back that he doesn't really have to play with any type of pressure. He's not going to play with any type of anxiety or any type of just stiffness. He's going to go out there. He's going to hit at every single pin. He's going to be aggressive. And in Showdown, that's beautiful. We want people that can go shoot 6, 7 under par. Xander Schofield not only has the skill set to go ahead and do so, much like a Justin Thomas, extremely well-rounded, but also has the position on the leaderboard to go out and freewheel it, which you like to see. Somebody like a Collin Morikawa, probably less likely to go and shoot 7 under tomorrow, right? Even though he's coming in with great form, he's a great course fit. He doesn't have the same incentive as somebody like a Xander Schofield to go for those par 5s and 2. And some of the par 5s here are brutes. I mean, you're hitting shots over water, 220 yard plus shots. For the leaders, they're probably going to take a more conservative approach. So for me, targeting some of these guys a little bit further back down the board has that kind of upside. Another player that fits that type of bill would be Scotty Shuffler. He is a significant price decrease from where he was early on in the week. Hit a really bad round one, really turned it around today with his play. Has the skill set for this golf course you're looking for. He's long off the tee. Should be able to take advantage of some of those par fives. And there's 5 par fives this week, making it a little bit unique. He's also somebody who's decent putting on Bermuda. I mean, you can see he's a loser on Bermuda grass, but all his other surfaces, he loses more strokes. For his career, has not been one of the better putters on tour. He tends to get hot, though. He's somebody who can drain a lot of putts when he has it working. Hasn't really had it to this point of the year. Kind of flashed a little bit of that upside today. Obviously, shooting in the mid-60s. Could go out there and shoot 7 or 8 under par. That's the beauty of a Scottie Scheffler. He's so aggressive that he's either going to really go out there, blow up, or like he did on round one, or is going to go out there and really shoot a good score. So I'm in Showdown, especially in a large field GPP. That's what I'm looking for, that top end volatility. What separates him and a Brayson Dechambeau is Brayson Dechambeau looked like complete dog shit at the win. I mean, like, I can't get over that. He looked like he was broken. And then 3 days later comes out here and is playing like he is. That really raises a ton of red flags to me. Whereas Scotty Scheffler, we think about how he was playing in the fall swing, like second place finish, hardly didn't close it on Sunday. He's posting top 5, top 10s every single week. I would much rather go to the guy further down the board that has looked like that of late, not the guy that looked like he wasn't trying at the win. Looks like he was betting on Brooks and just trying to cash a check. Without a side anyways. Sam Burns at $7,000, complete misprice. He had a bad day one, right? Only shot 1 under par. He triple bogeyed the last hole, which took him from having a great round to really shitty, to be honest with you. It took him from right in contention to right out of it. Shot 7 under par today, looked excellent. He came in as our top rated golfer in terms of recent form. Was our number 2 course fit rank. He's a great putter on Bermuda grass. Again, we didn't have any holes in his game at the beginning of the week. He was one of my featured plays in terms of our core picks. Somebody I considered putting an outright bet on. I actually just placed one 30 minutes ago on him. So didn't fire it at the beginning of the week. But now that he's at -8, he's still just 12-1 to win the golf tournament. If anything, I think his odds should have gone shorter, not longer. So I like him there at $7,000 in Showdown as well. Daniel Berger down here at $7,200. Course fit ranking, he came in as number 1. We hadn't seen him since the Tour Championship. So there were a lot of question marks surrounding his game. But like I said before the week, he has the kind of skill set to take this place apart. He's a top 20 player in the world. Why not take a shot on him? And that stands to here to this point. It's looked very good. The price tag is very good considering what we've seen as well. So I like going to him. He should be a little bit popular just because of where he is on the leaderboard. Obviously, that means he's having a good time here. He's coming in with good form. I think that's well warranted, though. Some of the chalk for tomorrow that I'm not going to be on are these next 2 guys specifically. They're at -10, so 1 shot off of the lead, which shows that they've played a couple good rounds of golf. But Brooks Koepka, I mean, he's such an enigma. I mean, the guy, it almost completely comes down to motivation with him. And right now, because he's with Chase Koepka, his brother, he has him on the bag. Perhaps he's going out there and playing with a little bit of an edge. That's why we've seen him play well to this point. At least that's what I think. His brother has given him a ton of good advice. They've had him mic'd up, a bunch of specials and whatnot. He's a great caddy. I think he should go forward with Chase as his caddy going forward. Even though he has one of the best, most acclaimed caddies of all time on his bag before that, somebody that's been with him his entire career, hasn't really been working of late. He hasn't had that spark. But with Chase in the bag, he's had that spark. So that's what concerns me about fading him. But I have him at 42.9% ownership, which is just entirely too high. I mean, there's a lot of question marks behind his health still with the knee and whatnot. And aside from the performance at the win, which he looked fantastic, and aside from these 2 rounds, hasn't looked very good, right? People are really quick to forget the kind of form he was coming in with. Multiple missed cuts. I mean, some really bad rounds of like 76, 77 on his record. So again, just like a Brayson Dechambeau, looked great these first 2 days. Tons of red flags, just other people that I'd like to prioritize. Also, somebody that I'm going to be avoiding is Tony Fenol. Again, we can't play everyone in the field. So some of these guys, it just comes down to the opportunity cost. Again, we can't play everyone in the field. Either way, though, at $7,600, he doesn't have his normal caddy on the bag. In fact, he has the owner of the Denver Nuggets on his bag. I should tell you everything you need to know. The guy is here to have some fun, and he's having fun shooting 10 under par. So, hell, he might ride that the whole way to a victory if he's having enough fun. but in terms of sustainability, in terms of projectability, it is definitely going to hurt him long term, not having your guy getting your yardages for you. And if I have to think of a reason to fade someone, that's what I'm going to go with Fenol. Webb Simpson, somebody I bet going into this week. He's been great with his approach play to this point. He stuck a bunch of shots to 5-6 feet today. Unfortunately, can't putt for his life. I mean, it's like he's completely lost the flat stick, something that's typically been one of his better parts of his game. When he had to switch to the long putter for a year or two, he really struggled. But over the last 18 months, he's been a top 5 putter in the world. So that narrative has completely changed. One of the announcers on Thursday was saying that Webb Simpson, really struggling with the putter, which sure, it's true over like the last 10 rounds, but I think he was like assuming that Webb has been bad putting for a while now. Today on the broadcast, someone else mentioned, he's like, yeah, Webb Simpson has been one of the best putters in the world. So people seem to just have this complete misunderstanding of his game. He's an excellent putter at this point of his career. So to see him out there missing the kind of putts that he is extremely jarring. It's something that I expect to be fixed sooner rather than later. So I don't have him in my pool for tomorrow, right? He's $8,500. He's a little bit more expensive than he should be because the pricing came out before we had that little bit of a collapse today. I'm not going to be on him, but for Sunday Showdown, if he has a good round tomorrow, let's say he comes in closer to $7,500 or $7,800, could be a great play for Sunday Showdown. Tyrell Hatton down here at $6,300, and we'll lump them together with Patrick Reed. Both of them are priced where they are because of where they started. Tyrell Hatton, he had a great day today. He was playing with Brayson Dechambeau. They were both drafting off of each other, hitting great shots. Hatton had a few eagles. Brayson just was hitting everything to 5 feet. So I like going to him. He's a good course fit for this golf course. He's a good approach player. He's long enough off the tee to get by. He's good on Bermuda grass. You can see he's a positive on Bermuda grass. You like to see that. Patrick Reed, he's more of an X-factor play here. Like I said at the beginning of the week, he has a lot of motivation. I mean, this is like his major championship because if there's one thing that Patrick Reed cares about, it is those damn world ranking points. The guy cares more about that than money at this point. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. The guy is utterly obsessed with his world ranking. So for me, he's an X factor. He's going to go out there, try harder than everyone else in the field. I mean, he's tried to cheat to win this event before. This is a charity event, and he tried to cheat to win this in the past. I should tell you everything you need to know about what this guy thinks about this event. It's a freaking major championship for him. So I'll go ahead and play him just because of that motivation factor. We're not playing Harris English. He looks like his game is gone. Either that or this is a true vacation for him. He's just going out every night, whatever. I don't know what the case is. He's not here to play golf. Justin Rose used to live here. I believe he still has at least a property nearby to Albany. Plays this golf course all the time. If you wanted to go to him as a low-owned option, I couldn't blame you. He's not in my player pool, though. Henrik Stenson, going to be a fade. He doesn't look very sharp right now. So, yeah, that's all I got here for the Saturday Showdown picks. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching as always. We're going to be doing this tomorrow as well. That'll be right around 5 or 5:30 p.m. Eastern, depending on when the golf wraps up. We'll cover the Sunday Showdown, how the placement points come into play, and of course, if there's any weather to keep in mind. But until then, guys, good luck with your Saturday lineups, and let's make some cash.